Hello and welcome back to Vintage Gaming Memories. If this is your first visit, I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Hope you subscribe and check out the other videos I've already published. I just started this channel about a few days ago, so I've been pushing out a lot of content that I had saved for quite some time. I wasn't sure if I was going to put them out on video, so please take a look and welcome your comments and feedback. And for those of you who have been on here before and returning, I really do appreciate your continued support. In this video, we'll be taking a first look at an eBay purchase I recently received in the mail. So I'm going to open it now and show you what I got, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Bubble wrapped up nicely. I'm not critiquing the shipper on this, or I mean the seller. I'm just going to really get to the content and show you what I have. And you can kind of see as I unravel it, you're like thinking, what? Is this like 1980? You just finally got Star Raiders? Well, no, it's more than that. It's the video touchpad that goes with it. You're probably still saying to yourself, what? Did you just became aware of this? Is this 1982 or what was it, 1982? I think it was, it came out. But no, it is something interesting. For me it is. This Atari 2600 Star Raiders game cartridge here and the video touchpad with the game overlay, it's already been inserted. This is something I got from eBay for a big whopping $15. Now I know it's not something that's difficult. You can actually find this today and purchase it as well, but I never had the video touchpad controller in my collection, so I figured this is a no-brainer at only $15 and you get the game and its overlay. So we'll take a look at it and see. You know, I've played Star Raiders before. It's like one of the first games for the Atari, but I played it on my Atari 800 in the early 80s. So if you've never played it, Star Raiders, you should definitely give it a go. It's a space-type game, as the name sounds. You have this first-person perspective when you play it, and it kind of gives you like a 3D sense with the asteroids passing by while you warp speed through. This is my recollection. I'm remembering it by looking at the cartridge itself, and I don't have the 8-bit version of it, but I do remember the big box, how it looked. So that's kind of like my memories from the past. But I know there's like crosshairs, I think, for the 8-bit version, and you get to shoot the enemy crafts. I think the objective of the game, like many other space games, is you're trying to protect your base from getting destroyed by the enemy. And that's pretty much probably the premise. I can't recall much more than that, and I know there was like a lot of maps or charts or things you can toggle through the game on the keyboard from my 8-bit. So the 2600 not having a keyboard, this is what you're going to be using. So that's why they had this touchpad made available with this game. So this version of Star Raiders for the Atari 2600 was released in 1982. It came with the video touchpad controller and this overlay that you insert on top of it, which it's already been inserted. I'll just take it off so you can kind of get a look. It's got a bunch of little keys here. You can feel it. It presses down. It's got a nice little feel to it. But this is a way to utilize, like I said, for example, with the Atari 800 8-bit that I had when I used Star Raiders, I had the keyboard. Well, with the 2600, you don't have a keyboard, and this would kind of give you some of the functionality of the keyboard options by using whatever is assigned to those buttons based on the overlay. And this overlay really is just like it is. You just overlay it and you have to press down on the various functions that's indicated on it. Now, the controller plugs in to your right controller jack, and that joystick that you normally would use would plug into your left, and you would use them together. Now, what I do want to mention is this controller should not be confused with the CX50, which I have right there. Well, maybe you can't see it. How's that? The CX50. So the CX50, it's the number pad type controllers, you can tell. These slide in together and they kind of form the two. Now, this is also used for various games, but it's also used for programming, for very light programming, basic programming to be exact. There'll be another video I'll be doing on this particular peripheral and give you more details on it, but this is definitely different than this touchpad. I know there were other games that were developed to use on this touchpad, but there wasn't too many of them. I think it was just a handful of them at the time. For this video, the purpose of this, we're going back to this touchpad, this game, and we'll see how this looks and works. Let's do a quick look at the condition of this. Now, I was told it was in working condition. Only $15, not a big risk. Pretty clean, no scratches. Again, me and my looking at the screws, making sure they're not rusted and they're all there. The rubber footings are all in place. It looks like it's been pretty much, packaged nicely in the sense that it's not been opened up a lot. It looks like it's only been used a few times. By the way, the condition of the plastic, if not scratched, the way it's been folded up. I believe this did come with the Star Raiders, and this overlay is in very good condition. Yeah, 1982, as I said. So, that is the touchpad and the overlay. The game, I mean, this is not of any big deal. I mean, I have this, I'm sure, already in my collection with 2,600 games, but we'll test this one out with this touchpad and my joystick right now. Okay, well, it looks like the game works. That's a plus. Now let's test out the touchpad to see how that works with my joystick. I've got it plugged into my 6-switch Atari 2600. I do have an extension connected because I don't want to be sitting on top of it. I think we're all ready to go. Let's see how this thing plays and how difficult it is to control two things with, well, I won't be using my lap, but I've got a table that I usually pull out. It's a portable one that I use, as you can see here, and it's been very handy. Something I would recommend to use if you're ever going to have gameplay from a far distance. My television is an 85-inch, so you really don't want to be sitting right up in front, so that's why I like to be sitting at least 12 feet from it. But here we go. All right, well, this game, I'm not going to go too much detail, but what you see on the left is my energy count from 400 going down, and I'm going to put my shields on. Pressing that down, I got my shields on, just in case I get hit by something. So it's counting from 400 down. You can see some asteroids coming by, and I got to avoid getting hit by them, or I can shoot them. So my goal is to find the enemies before they get to my base with my shield. Oh, there's some enemies now. I see. So I got 9 left. As you can see, the 09, there was 10 to start. And the P, E, S, and the C that's rotating there, that just tells me the status of my, status of my photons and my computer attack. I'm trying to do a couple things. It's really difficult to do a lot at once with this unless you have a table to put your controller on. But as I have my shields on, I am wasting energy pretty quick, as you can see it dropping. Let's try the other options on this touchpad. Let's go to the galactic map, and that's that. So that red one is me showing where I can warp speed to. Blue one is where I'm at currently, and that object that's on top of it is the enemy, and then now they're on my base. So let's go back to the front view, and we need to get to the base, at least destroy some of these. As you can see, I've got 8 of them left, 7, try to get the asteroids out of my way, try to get some more of the enemy ships out of the way here. There's some strategy involved. Obviously, you don't want to waste all your energy. Got 5 left, and it's counting down here on my energy. Okay, so that's it. It is not an easy game to play with your hands being occupied by both the left side, your joystick, if you're going to just hold on to it with one hand, and your right with the actual touchpad. The touchpad itself, I mean, you can leave it on a flat surface and just press it when you need to. You really only have 5 buttons you're going to be utilizing. You're using one for a front view, one for a galactic map. Then you're doing your hyper warp, which you use your map to see where you want to warp to, which sector. And then you got a computer. You can turn that on and off to look at. And then you have your shields, which I was using. I mean, there's not many options on it, but again, if you're holding onto a joystick and you want to quickly go and toggle something, you have to know which button to press. Definitely not the same as the 8-bit version. Quality of the graphics is completely different. There's some strategy involved when to utilize your shields, when not to, and of course your aiming capabilities to destroy the enemy as well as the asteroids that are coming at you through the belt. So, I don't know, not a bad game overall, but not something I find myself playing quite often. So hopefully that helps you see how the game works, at least this particular game with the touchpad, and my pros and cons with what I see, you know, using a touchpad with a game like this. Now, if it's just a touchpad for the entire game, not using a joystick with it, it may be a lot different experience, but being that you need that, or you would definitely want to use it with this game, you have to really be able to move around your hands quickly, and you need a stable surface to put these on. I don't know, that's my 2 cents. So take it for what it's worth. Well, this should wrap up the video. I really wanted to get to the point of showing you the video touchpad and how it actually works with a game such as Star Raiders. This is my first impression of it because I've never owned a touchpad, nor have I used one before. So it was a pretty cool concept I could see back in the day. I think it's nice to have in your collection if you like to collect Ataris or the controllers. And that's what I'm going to do with this. It's going to go with my controller section, I guess you can call it. Not so much on the shelving, but it is a pretty cool device for the Atari that I think could have taken off if they had more games developed. Perhaps like more now with the homebrew, they can utilize these other functionalities of the buttons with the game. But again, you're going to be having to hold it, and kind of holding your joystick with it, so hopefully it's not a fast action game. I do appreciate you guys watching, taking time out of your day. If you subscribe, great. If you haven't done so, please do. It really does help me grow this channel, getting this word out and having more people interested in giving their feedback to me, positive or negative. I am open to any criticism. So until next time, keep your gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.